Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy X-Blick right here with you guys with the 7th part to What If Deku was the isekai'd to the Tensei world. That time I got reincarnated as a slime, Tensei, shitara, Slime Datta Ken, whatever you really want to call it. But yeah, so welcome. I know it's been a while, it's been about 2 months or something. I'm sorry, I kind of just put the series off as long as possible. But I decided, gotta get back into it. This is a fun, you guys have really enjoyed the series, so I gotta give it to you. So, yeah, here it is. I hope you guys do really enjoy the series, and do really enjoy this part. So, there. Just remember, Saints, check out Saint, he's really good. Go check him out in the description, as well as all the music I use in this video. All the music is down in the description as well. So, yeah, all the music I use in my videos down in the description, and yeah, you'll go see them. So, yeah, that's pretty much all. So, just remember to like, subscribe, all of that jazz, and if you have a comment, if you have anything you want to say or anything, I will see it. I do look at the comments, so yeah, I will check it out and I will see your comment. So, if you want to say anything, then put it down and I will read it. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Remember, God is awesome, you guys are too. And let's just get straight into this epic what if. Let's go! A few days after MindaRyn arrives and all of that, a bunch of strange people come around to kind of the Tempest City as they're walking around like they pretty much own the place, with this one guy in a who kind of looks like an elf but also not, starts wandering around like he owns the place. As Rigurd, he starts walking up to this man, introducing himself and introducing everyone, saying hello, my name is Rigurd and I'm here for the Tempest Federation and all that. Would you like to do you have any reason for being here? Or, as before he can even finish his sentence, he is attacked as he gets half of his face blown to torn off, pretty much. Half of his face gets torn off, which ain't good for him. But yeah, as he falls on the ground, the man starts boasting, saying that he's the guy, he's standing in front of one of the 3 Beastketeers of Lord Carrion. So who does he think he is, trying to even gaze at him? His name is Phobia. And yeah, so yeah, as he's standing around saying he's the best and all that, but before he can really finish gloating and praising himself, he then sees a giant fire just shoot up into the sky, a gigantic aura, as everyone starts moving out of the way. Just as the last person moves out of the way, they see a dash of orange and blue and grey light with fire trailing behind it, dashing towards this intruder as he gets slammed across the face with a punch, as Apollyon punches Phobia square in the face, breaking multiple of his bones and slamming him into the ground, shattering it. As he then begins to charge up a giant attack in his hand, he then says Heatwave, as he then blasts Phobia, sending him flying backwards. after this, before he can even stop kind of flying and skimming across the ground like a stone across water, he then gets hit from the back as MindaRyn comes in, beating on him like there's no tomorrow. As this kind of happens, Rainbow arrives, seeing that there's like a bunch of fighting happening, as he's wondering what's going on, and everyone's kind of circling around this one area, as he then sees MindaRyn pop her head around saying, like, hi, I did something good, right? Like, I did something good. I defended your guy. As he kind of looks over and sees Rigurd on the ground, asking like, hey, Rigurd, you good? And Rigurd saying, yeah, I'm completely fine, Lord Rimuru. As he then raises his hand, showing half of his face has been blown off. Which Rimuru's like, no, good man, you are not okay. So he then throws a kind of healy potion blob on him, which heals him. After this, Rimuru then walks up to kind of the rest of the area, as he then sees Apollyon staring down at Phobia with a giant fire, like white fiery orb surrounding in Apollyon's hands, as he's holding himself back from not erasing this man from the face of the earth. As he's just wondering, like, is this man gonna kill me? What's going on? So Apollyon, he's stopping himself, as Rimuru then calls out like, yo, Apollyon, what's going on? As Apollyon then hears Rimuru speak, he immediately spits into fire and turns around and just kneels on the ground. Lord Rimuru, I'm sorry for this inconvenience, but this buffoon, this absolute heathen of a man, has decided to attack Rigurd. He's attacked Rigurd, which I could not allow. Rigurd is one of your devoted followers, and an attack on Rigurd is an attack on yourself. So I put him in his place, your Lord Rimuru, with the help of Demon Lord, with Lady MindaRyn, and there. I hope I pleased you, Lord Rimuru. As Rimuru's like, well, you were doing it in the name of Rigurd, but you can't really go around throwing a man like a ragdoll who you obviously know is much weaker than you. Like, come on, Apollyon. You can do better than that. As Apollyon's about to speak, he's like, no, I understand. Like, he attacked Rigurd, so you thought this was an attack on us, on Tempest, so you thought that it was a good idea to, and I completely I would agree with you that you attacking him would be the right thing, but also he is kind of here on a diplomatic mission or something. I assume he was sent by somebody, so it probably wasn't the person who sent him's intentions to kill everybody here. So if that was the case, he would have probably come here himself, probably. But oh well. As he then throws a kind of a health potion at Phobia, healing him. As kind of everybody Phobia after a few hours, he does wake up, and his kind of anger is at both Apollyon and MindaRyn, so he doesn't just hate MindaRyn, he also kind of despises Apollyon as well. But still, so after this, he then explains everything that kind of Lord Carrion has decided that, like, he wants to check out everything going on, and yeah, wants to, I guess, have diplomatic relations with the Tempest Federation. So after this, like, everybody's like, alright, that's a cool idea, I guess so, like, we can have diplomatic relations. As after this, Phobia, he's pretty mad or whatever, so yeah, he's kind of mad, so he kind of dips and doesn't really like the fact that there are some people here who put him in the ground very easily. that wasn't a demon lord. So Apollyon, after this, like, he was kind of punished. Like, he wasn't allowed to really train or anything for the day, which really hurt him. It really hurt. That was a punishment. But yeah, so after this, Phobia kind of gets mad and he does leave. And yeah, so after this, kind of the Tempests, everybody has a meeting discussing the way forwards with different demon lords and everything that's going to be going on with kind of Lord Carrion and Melodic and how she's going to be doing with all this, and the way forward with the city, how that's going to all be going. As this kind of happens, they then get an alert that there is a giant space whale coming towards them with flying giant megalodon sharks, which is just whack. Like, I know the show is weird, but like, flying megalodons is just the best part of it. Like, I know, like, in season 2 and all that, like, there's the entire, if you haven't seen season 2, then skip like 5-10 seconds, but pretty much, like, that just, it was golden. It was just good. Like, yeah, I just did really enjoy the flying sharks. That was a funny scene. But yeah, so anyway, as they kind of heard this, they see that the Charybdis has kind of, I don't know how you say it, but the Charybdis, that's what I'm calling it, the Charybdis, starts floating towards them with a bunch of a bunch of flying megalodons. As he then goes up and, like, everybody starts attacking the, like, megalodons, start attacking all the megalodons and start attacking all of the different, like, megalodons and the Charybdis as they start attacking that, and having not really much progress as they're fighting against the Charybdis. They're taking down the megalodons very easily, but the Charybdis is a bit more of a struggle as it starts shooting a bunch of its kind of scales at them, which doesn't really injure them because they're massive, but it does hurt them kind of a bit. So after this, they do kind of realize that they aren't doing superly well until Apollyon, he does rock up and decide, let's do this. So he rocks up and he just jumps up and starts shooting towards the Charybdis, as he then shoots out burning thread towards the thing, towards the Charybdis, as it then gets caught up in the burning thread, as he then sends helio chains around the thing even more, crushing it slowly. As in the other hand, he is doing this with just one hand, by the way, as he then brings out a giant white orb of fire, as he then says, "Firestorm!" as he blasts the Charybdis with a firestorm, seemingly obliterating it, as everything's filled up with smoke, as they see it has been burnt and just charred a bit, and a little bit of it has been, like, hurt, but not enough to stop its warpath. As they then realize, Apollyon realized that was my strongest attack. I ain't doing much more against it. As it then starts saying that it wants to kill Melodic, and Melodic, and yeah, that Melodic is a horror. Like, he wants to kill Melodic because Melodic, yeah, humiliated it. As they then realize that Phobia is inside of it, and that, you can't kill Phobia because he's a Beastketeer. So they then decide Melodic is a good idea to attack it. So Melodic goes up and pretty much does the same thing, like does her entire draconic wave or whatever, destroying the entire thing, and then saves Phobia, as Rimuru then goes up and absorbs all of the Charybdis' energy. After this, Rimuru does heal up Phobia, and he wakes up as he then very, very heavily apologizes to them, saying I'm sorry, this was not meant to happen, I guess I was just blinded by rage or whatever, I'm sorry. As he then tells them about these two people, and that there's one man, Footman, and another guy, Tear, or another little girl, Tear, one big fat guy and a little girl with two marionette masks, as they both convinced him to go down to this cave and to become what he became. As after this, Carrion arrives as he slams Phobia's face into the ground, putting the man to sleep. As Carrion then does apologize for his underlings' actions, and as an apology he wants to enter in a non-aggression pact with Tempest and the Jura Tempest Federation, as an apology, and saying that he is sorry and hopefully they can make it up. As off to the the side, Carrion then mentions that Apollyon looks similar to one of the other demon lords, and saying he looks very similar, he may be a descendant or something, he's not really sure, but he looks very similar. It could be just that he is a Solarian, because there is another demon lord who is a Solarian as well, but yeah, so he's not really sure, but they do look very similar, apart from the other demon lord is could wipe the floor with every single one of them combined, so that's sad. But so he does mention that, as MindaRyn then does realize this as well, mentioning they do have similarities in names as well, but I guess they could be another Solarian thing as well, since they've all got names signifying towards the sun as well, so who would know. And also, the other guy only goes by his last name, he only lets the close friends call him his first name, which MindaRyn does know, but she can't really remember since they haven't talked in a while. As after this, a few days later, Carrion does leave pretty much straight away, but then MindaRyn leaves as well, realizing she has to do other demon lord stuff. As a few days or weeks, isn't really specified, but a few days, weeks-ish pass, as carriages then arrive to Tempest, as the three Beastketeers, or two of the three Beastketeers, rock up with another guy, as they then start talking about how they're here for Lord Carrion, as then with Sophia attacking, wanting to fight the humans, but then that fight all happens, as Shion, as then Sophia then starts fighting with Shion, and then the other people start fighting, as just before it starts getting heated up, as Shion starts building up a giant energy bullet to shoot towards Sophia. But before Albus, the snake lady, can step in, stopping them, a thing just lands in between them, causing a massive shockwave, as the dust builds up around them, creating a big dust cloud, but then is pretty much blown away immediately after, stopping pretty much one hand, stopping the one Sophia's arm from going towards, or leg, going towards Shion, and the other one holding the bullet in his hand, holding the giant energy wave. As like everybody's just standing there in shock, apart from like a couple of like the Kijin, they're not superly surprised. Rimuru isn't really surprised. Everyone else is very surprised. They're like, yo, what? This kid is good. But yeah, so after this kind of all happens, Apollyon, he kind of does say like, yo, like, are we up to your expectations? As he's kind of directing this towards Albus, as she says like, yeah, good expectations, as he then kind of drops kind of Sophia gently, not just throwing her to the ground, no, respectfully and gently putting her back down, as he then kind of just gives just as I was walking away, as everyone's like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool, sounds good, as then everyone's like starts talking like, yo, this is pretty cool, like we're good buddies now, but then everyone realizes that Shion's kind of giant bullet is still going away, as Apollyon, he's about to go back up and just grab it and yeet that thing into the atmosphere, but then Rimuru's like, nah, Apollyon, stay back, I got this, big man, as everyone's like, what, like, huh, what, as then Rimuru's saying like, yo, shoot it at me, just come at me, come, big bullet towards me, as Shion's like, Lord Rimuru, are you sure? As yeah, Rimuru's like, yep, I'm very sure, shoot the thing at me. As she's like, okay, very good, as she then shoots the energy bullet wave thingy towards him, as he then uses Gluttony and just absorbs it, cause he's that cool. As then after this, the Beastketeers do leave, and a few days later, Rimuru goes to Dwargon with Shuna, Shion, Gobta, and a few other people, after Shion's giant fit destroying the entire area, which is kind of a funny scene. But yeah, so after that kind of happens, they kind of go out to Dwargon for a business kind of arrangement, as Apollyon does stay home, kind of stays home to hone his skills and to get stronger, as he does kind of build up his kind of short distance transmission so he can go a little bit further, and yeah, and he can do it a lot quicker on quicker succession, so he can be like a few other kind of, so he can teleport instantaneously, so he can just go teleport attack, teleport attack, teleport attack, so he can go really quickly. But after that, nothing really much happens apart from that. And that is the end of this part. I do hope you guys did really enjoy this part. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, all of that jazz. And yeah, just remember Saint's link down in the description. Awesome music, go check him out. He is very much under kind of privileged or whatever, like he's very much underestimated. I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah, he's a really good like artist who doesn't get a lot of recognition, so I want to give the recognition out to him. He does really good music, so go check him out. And yeah, just remember the links for all the other music as well as in the description as well. And yeah, so I do hope you guys did really enjoy this part. Be sure, if you did, to like, subscribe, all of that jazz. Leave a comment if you have anything to say. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So remember, God is awesome, you guys are too. And I will see you guys in the next part. Peace.